been watching, the world has been watching this story on Sean Puffy Combs' case, because he is now facing charges that can literally destroy the entire empire that he built for so many years. So what is interesting about this story, which is getting a lot of attention now, not only because of the obvious of the sex trafficking, the racketeering, and all these other charges that they have been charging him or alleging him that he has committed these crimes, but more specifically, how domestic violence is key, because he had been in a relationship with, we know, Cassie Ventura for a number of years, approximately 10 years. And throughout that relationship, according to Cassie, was a very brutal, violent, abusive relationship. Now, the reason this is a very key case in the history of domestic violence is because it tends to prove, and it will prove, the importance of recognizing why women who are being abused continue to stay in abusive relationships. We often have been asking the very question of, why does she stay? Why is she still with him? Why doesn't she just pick up and go? Well, as this case continues to unfold, and as you continue to hear key witnesses talking about the case, reporting about what they themselves saw when they would see Cassie in her relationship with Sean Combs, and what he would do, and how many voices were silent, and yet how many voices were not silent, because we have seen the research and we have seen the news that many people were actually talking about this even from before. It's just that people were not listening, right? So this is why this is so key and so important right now on domestic violence in this specific case, because again, we continue to have been asking the very same questions from when we watch the news and we hear about a woman who has been killed, and we ask, well, why didn't she leave the relationship? Now, as you watch this story unfold, you will understand the dynamics of abuse. You will come to understand why is it that women who are being abused essentially stay in these relationships, right? And if you have seen any of the trial of, or read about the trial on what Cassie's statements have been, you will quickly come to see that she was living under fear throughout the relationship, right? Because she didn't want to leave and cause more havoc and more issues, and she may have been threatened, right? Once again, all the details, we don't know all the exacts, but we do know what has already been reported, as well as videos that prove what has been done, in which Sean Combs himself at one point wanted to publicly offer an apology to Cassie, which in my personal opinion, I do not believe that was an apology. However, moving forward is the key to recognizing these signs when someone is in an abusive relationship. Now, the reason this is really key and really important as this story continues to unfold is because we will have an opportunity to get to see front row, as the world watches, what will be done to a person who has not only committed other acts of violence, but specifically, how will the law handle this specific case on domestic violence? So continue to watch, continue to stay tuned. I am looking forward to seeing how this is going to unfold for the favor of those that have been abused.